Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, today we're just going to be working on the Civic today. So I'm just going to start by using a throttle body cleaner. So I'm going to spray this into the throttle body while the engine's running. I'm going to blip it a couple of times so it goes through into the intake valves and hopefully blows all the crap out for the exhaust. And then I'm going to be using this Abro Moto Flush. So I find this stuff is pretty good. So pretty much you just tip it into your valve cover, idle the car for 3 minutes, and then drop the engine oil. Today I'll be using a Penrite 10W40 with a oil filter. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is start the car, let it warm up, get it up to operating temperature, and then we're going to spray with a bit of this carby cleaner here into the throttle body. Try to work it through the intake valves and blow all the crap out of the exhaust. Right, so now that the car's warmed up to operating temperature, there's two ways that I can do this. I can pull this little pipe out and spray through there, or I can take this whole thing off, take that hose clamp off, pull it out, and I can properly spray where the butterfly is. So I reckon I'm going to take this whole pipe off to do it properly so I can wipe around the butterfly area, because the throttle seems a little bit sticky, so I think that's where I'm going to go. Right, so I've taken the intake pipe off, and now you can actually see the butterfly moving back and forth. I can get a rag, clean around where it sits and I can get rid of all the carbon in the throttle body. So I'm just going to get a rag and yeah, just clean around there, clean the butterfly, and then I'll end up starting the car and I'll spray it into the throttle body. Right, so I don't know if you can see this, but there's a bit of carbon in that inlet manifold here. So I reckon the carby cleaner will do a little bit of good in here. So I'll just start it back up, just spray it, and I'll just open the throttle, just give it a couple of revs, and let the carby cleaner do its thing. So you sort of want to spray the carby cleaner before you change your engine oil, because when you start it, this carby cleaner is going to mix in with your breather system, and obviously it's going to go a little bit into your engine oil. So it's going to mix with your engine oil, it's going to contaminate your brand new engine oil. So you're better off spraying it before you actually drop the engine oil, so you don't get no contaminants like the carbon and the chemicals that it's in the carby cleaner mixed into your new engine oil. So it might take a little bit of cranking to start her up. One more go. Try again. Alright guys, so we ran into a little bit of trouble. It's the second day. As you can tell, it's a little bit cloudy now, but we ran into a bit of trouble. The car started to misfire and then it just died and I couldn't start it up again. So I've got the charger on the car right now. So now we just gotta figure out why it's not starting now. All I did was spray carby cleaner into the inlet manifold. Tried to start it and it started for about 10 seconds and then it just started to shake really violently and then it just died and then now it won't start up. So now we just got to figure out why it won't start. Right, so I know that we got fuel because I filled it up and it's halfway. I can hear the pumps priming at the back. So I can hear that. We got no engine lights. So we got fuel. So all we now need to check is spark. So we need fuel, air, spark, compression. And that's what makes a motor go. So I'm gonna get my spark plug tester and I'll show you how to use it. Right, so here's my spark plug tester tool. You can get it from any auto parts store. I got mine from Auto Pro, my local auto parts store. So all we need to do is just take out one of the leads and then we'll just put this bit into there, into the lead, this bit into the lead, and then the alligator teeth into an earth. Alright, so pretty much goes like that. You can adjust the gap. So you just do it just enough just to see a spark. So you just turn this little red knob and I earthed it onto the bleeder there, so it should be alright. So we're going to be cranking it from the engine, so we want to position it so we can see the spark when we crank it over. So I'll just go crank it. Right, so we got no spark coming out of the coil there. So now we know that it's something electrical. I can smell the fuel. So now we know that it's an ignition system problem. So I don't know, all I did was spray carby cleaner in the throttle body. Alright, so after hours of YouTubing and Googling, I found that on these motors here, common problem is the coil in the distributor. So I watched a little video on how to test it, so we're just going to go ahead, take off the cover and we'll see what's inside. Alright, so we just got to take out these three screws here, 1, 2, and there should be one down the bottom there. Right, so we got to take this rotor button off. So pretty much this little contact here touches these little silver contacts here, and that's what sparks the engine up. So that little button just spins around and just taps these little contacts here, and then they runs through the wire and it goes through the coil into the spark plug, and that's what causes the spark. So there's this little Phillips screwdriver. Right, so to take the button off, there's that little Phillips screw that we got to take off. So I'll just go grab my screwdriver. we'll just take it off. Be careful not to lose the screw. Right, so the screws out. Be careful not to break this. It's only plastic. So you just give it a bit of a wriggle and it should just slide out. If it doesn't, just hit it with WD-40 because it looks like it's a metal shaft. So it's coming out, yeah. Just pop that to the side. Right, so this is the inside of the distributor. That's the coil. That's like an igniter. So that sends power to the coil. All right, so we got the test light here. I've earthed it to the bleeder again. So with the ignition on, then we'll just touch the positive and the negative and we'll see if it lights up. Ignition on. Test light. So that one's okay. And that's okay. Pretty bright light too. So I saw a video on YouTube. They did the same test and it turned out that the coil was faulty. So I'm going to go ahead, try to source a coil, and then I'll come back. All right guys, so back from the auto parts store. Lucky enough they had one in stock. So this is a Fuel Meister aftermarket. I couldn't get a well-known brand one like an NGK one because yeah, it's just kind of in a rush. So where's this made? In Taiwan, close enough to Japan. So all right, so that's the aftermarket one, and they seem to still have the same numbers on them, TC081 08A. So they look exactly the same. So I'm gonna just go ahead, I'm gonna put this new one in, box it all up, and then we'll see if it starts. Right, so the new coil is in. So I'll put the cap back on. We're just gonna get our spark plug tester tool again and check if there's spark. So I'll just hook it back up. This end goes in here. This alligator teeth to an earth. To an earth. Okay, so we're going to check for spark. I'm going to start it. As you can see, pretty good spark. Then the car's running. Right, so as you saw when I started up straight away. You know, nothing wrong. You saw that we had plenty of spark on the tool. The car sounded nice. This tool, well worth it. Cost me around about 30 bucks. If you want a quick diagnosis, if your car's cranking but not starting and you want to see if you got spark, this is the best tool. That will save you heaps of time going around checking fuses and stuff like that. You just unplug the lead, put that tool in, put it to an earth, and then you can see if you got spark straight away, and then you go ahead check all your fuses and stuff after if you don't have spark. All right, so that was a little bit of a detour from when we just started doing the carby clean, and our plan was just to do a simple oil change. So you never know, you know how cars are. They like to break down. They like to test our patience. So at least we got to see how to diagnose an ignition fault in one of these. The processes of you know, trying to solve the problem. But yeah, it is what it is. You know, cars, they wear and tear, they break down. This is a 94 model, so who knows why it did what it did, why the coil failed. I reckon maybe because the engine was misfiring from the carby clean, and it must have put just a little bit of stress on the coil, and it must have just damaged that coil. So luckily the local auto parts store had it in stock, and we'll just put a new one and then off we go. So I'm going to go ahead, put the Abro engine oil flush in the valve cover here, let it run for about 5 minutes, get the chemicals going into all the engine block, the sump, the pickup, oil filter, all that stuff, get all the crap out of the engine, and then I'll drop the oil.